are just indications about what happens in the Day of Judgment in Al-Jannah. Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam says, قال الله تعالى أعددت لعبادي الصالحين ما لا عين رأت ولا أذن سمعت ولا خطر على قلب بشر. Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam says that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells us that He has prepared for His righteous slaves what no human eye has ever seen, what no human ear has ever heard of, what no human mind or heart has ever been able to imagine. So whatever we talk about Al-Jannah, it is beyond and beyond and beyond what you can even imagine. Also, Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, in a hadith which is narrated by Muslim, says, إذا دخل أهل الجنة الجنة ينادي مناد إن لكم أن تحيوا فلا تموتوا أبدا وإن لكم أن تصحوا فلا تسقموا أبدا وإن لكم أن تشبوا فلا تهرموا أبدا وإن لكم أن تنعموا فلا تبأسوا أبدا. رواه Muslim. Abu Sa'id and Abu Hurairah, may Allah be pleased with both of them, reported the Messenger of Allah said, when the dwellers of Jannah enter Jannah, an announcer will call, you have a promise from Allah, you have a promise from Allah. We will hear a caller saying, you have a promise from Allah, you will live therein in Al-Jannah and you will never die. You will stay healthy therein and you will never fall ill. You will stay young and you will never become old. You will be under a constant bliss, joy, and you will never feel miserable. This is narrated by Muslim. I was in a gathering once where there were, medical doctors. And when I read this hadith, where Prophet Muhammad ﷺ says, you will stay healthy therein and you will never fall ill. So one of the doctors said, does this mean that there will be no doctors in Al-Jannah? I told them, we will not need any doctors in Al-Jannah. There's no need for them. There will be, inshallah, in Al-Jannah, but not in their capacity as doctors. They will be in Al-Jannah as Jannah people. Now you have entered Al-Jannah, and let us imagine that, you or I were not amongst the people where they entered with their families, everyone their families in one line. Let's say that we were not in that category because either ourselves or other members of our family, some of us one of us was higher than the other or lower than the other. Now you entered in Al-Jannah, you look, you don't see your wife, the wife does not see her husband. Look for your children, you can't find your children. Look for your parents, you can't find your parents. And you know that you had seen them outside Al-Jannah. When you were all waiting, you could see them there. But now, entering Al-Jannah causes you all to split. Each one is qualified to go for a different rank. Let's say that the wife was far more righteous than the husband, and one of the children just barely got in Al-Jannah. He is in the lowest rank. The family is divided. Wouldn't that be a cause of sadness? Wouldn't it be a cause of sadness? Now, I would like to take you to the ayah, to what you were told when your soul was being withdrawn in this worldly life, when you were dying, and the angels came to you. What did they tell you when we had addressed that in our first session? They said to you, إِنَّ الَّذِينَ قَالُوا رَبُّنَا اللَّهُ ثُمَّ اسْتَقَامُوا تَتَنَزَّلُ عَلَيْهِمُ الْمَلَائِكَةُ أَلَّا تَخَافُوا ولا تحزنوا وأبشروا بالجنة التي كنتم توعدون. What those verses mean, that the angels, when they came down to you, they said to you, don't be afraid and don't be sad, and the other things in that ayah. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave you a promise at that time when you were dying from the worldly life, that you are not going to be encountering anything that will scare you. أَلَّا تَخَافُوا. And you're not going to be encountering anything that will make you sad. وَلَا تَحْزَنُوا. So you are not going to be made sad in Al-Jannah. Or the wife will not be made sad after she has entered Al-Jannah when her husband and her family all had already qualified to enter Al-Jannah. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala looks at all of you, sees who has the highest rank in Al-Jannah, and pulls everybody to that highest rank. He pulls everyone to that highest rank. So I would like to talk to the parents. If you have children that they are not as religious as you want them to be, and you know that they are maintaining their 5 daily prayers, inshallah, and all that, but you still want them to be better and better and better, you know, don't let worry over them make you stop from caring for yourself. Because if you care for yourself and you become a better person, better ibadat, and you improve your rank, you're going to pull them with you. You're going to pull them with you. So let us not make Allah, worrying over raising children and all that become excessive, negatively excessive, to the extent that it stops the parents from reading the Quran, from as-salah or anything like this. Look after yourself, because inshallah you will pull your children. Or children who, you look at the father or the mother and they're not really as righteous as you want them to be. Okay, now work harder on yourself. Inshallah you will pull them with you. There is ayah in the Quran which says that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, جنات عدن يدخلونها ومن صلح من آبائهم وأزواجهم وذرياتهم والملائكة يدخلون عليهم من كل باب سلام عليكم بما صبرتم فنعم عقبى الدار. Surah Al-Ra'd, the chapter of Al-Ra'd, Surah Al-Ra'd, the chapter of Al-Ra'd, verses 23 and 24. And Eden Paradise, it's called Eden Paradise, Adn, Jannatu Adn, Paradise, or everlasting gardens, which they shall enter, and also those who acted righteously from among their fathers and their wives and their offspring. So you have the spouses, the husbands and wives, the parents, fathers, your father, your grandfather, and offspring, children, grandchildren, and their fathers and their wives and their offspring, and angels shall enter unto them from every gate, saying, Salamun alaykum, peace be upon you, for you preserved in patience. Excellent indeed is the final home. And there is another verse in the Quran in Surah At-Tur, chapter At-Tur, chapter 52, verse 21. وَالَّذِينَ آمَنُوا وَاتَّبَعَتْهُمْ ذُرِّيَّتَهُمْ بِإِيمَانٍ أَلْحَقْنَا بِهِمْ ذُرِّيَّتَهُمْ وَمَا أَلَتْنَاهُمْ مِنْ عَمَلِهِمْ مِنْ شَيْءٍ كُلُّ امْرِئٍ بِمَا كَسَبَ رَهِينٌ. And those who believe and whose offspring, children, follow them in faith, to them shall we join their offspring. We will join their offspring to them in Al-Jannah. And we shall not decrease the reward of their deeds in anything. Every person is a pledge for that which he has earned. So the fact that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, raises your children with you, He doesn't do that, through, for example, lowering you to your children, or as a middle ground, say, okay, we'll put them both in the middle or something. This is thinking of us, miserly human beings. You know, the miserly human beings would say, okay, let's look at this family. Okay, one is high and one is low. Let's work out an arithmetic average, or maybe a geometric average, or whatever lower average. And then I will put them in a rank which is in the middle. This is our miserly thinking. Allah is generous, is far more generous than we think. Allah would look at the highest rank and He will pull everybody to that highest rank. When I'm supposed to stop, just give me, like 10 minutes before, right? Okay, now we'll start describing Al-Jannah. Is there day or night in Al-Jannah? Actually, there is no day or night in Al-Jannah because there is no sun and there is no moon in Al-Jannah. The sun and the moon, Prophet Muhammad ﷺ tells us when the universe gets destroyed, those two objects, there would be no need for them anymore. So they would just become, get thrown into the hellfire. I mean, there's just no need for them. I mean, they're not being thrown into hellfire as punishment for them. And no, they're just being thrown in hellfire as, as the rocks, whatever that are going to be burning in the hellfire. There's just no need for them. There is hadith by Prophet Muhammad ﷺ that says that Al-Jannah and Nar are going to be two objects that will be no need for them, and they will just be dumped into the hellfire. So, al-ulama, they say that ليس في الجنة ليل ونهار. There is no night or day in Al-Jannah. وإنما هو نور دائم أبدا. It's everlasting light. Everlasting light. And the light comes from the Arsh al-Rahman, from the throne of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But in order to enable people to have a feel for time, the light, the intensity of light would be varied, every now and then, to enable people to estimate what would be equivalent to day's time or something like that. It would be changing the intensity of that light, but the light is going to be an everlasting light, but the intensity of the light which is coming from the place of the throne, the intensity of it will be changing, and also when that intensity changes, it actually brings more joy to the atmosphere of Al-Jannah. Maybe you like to have a candle or something, one day when the light is dim or something. ويقول ابن تيمية في هذا الموضوع. ابن تيمية says والجنة ليس فيها شمس ولا قمر. There is no sun or moon. ولا ليل ولا نهار. No night or day. لكن تعرف البكرة والعشية بنور يظهر من قبل العرش. But the beginning of the day and the end of the day would be known from intensity of the light changing from the throne of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Do people of Al-Jannah sleep? Do people of Al-Jannah sleep? No, they don't sleep. There is no sleep in Al-Jannah. Because Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam says, النوم أخو الموت ولا ينام أهل الجنة. Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam says that sleeping is equivalent to death. It's like, in fact, it's a mini death. It's a minor death. And therefore, there is no death of any kind in Al-Jannah, not minor, not major or anything. So there is no sleeping in Al-Jannah. And you will remain awake to keep enjoying everything. You wouldn't want to sleep and miss anything. Okay, what are the things that you will see in paradise? What are the things that you will see in paradise? Remember, you're going to be seeing things that your eyes in this world had never seen, your ears in this world had never heard of, your mind or heart in this life had never been able to think of. When you enter Al-Jannah, you are going to see great palaces, your palaces, mansions, castles, whatever you call it, made with one brick of gold and one brick of silver and the cement between them is made of muscle.